2 reasons Bitcoin could challenge a record high of 69K, nice, before the halving, which is expected to be halfway through April. Data from past cycles entered around halvings and a key technical analysis tool suggests the path of least resistance is higher. Now, before we get into the what is this, what isn't this portion of the video, I just want to let you know, as I'm filming this, Bitcoin currently trading just below 52K, market cap still holding over $1 trillion. And in terms of just quick technicals, bullish, consolidation, fake out breakdown, consolidation, rip higher, and we are once again back in the phase of consolidation. Markets, it doesn't matter if it's crypto, futures, stocks, options, they tend to expand and contract, So huge region of expansion, now we're contraction. I wish I knew which way the next direction of expansion would be, whether up or down, but I don't. I don't have a crystal ball. Mine's out getting repaired right now. I just want to say, at this point, you can't really tell how long the consolidation is going to last. We're just holding at 52. Obviously, a breakdown below 50 could lead to extra selling, but a break above 53 might lead us to 56, 58, something like that in a very short-term type of a thing. But what might move this all? Well, obviously, we know the recent excitement with the ETF approvals, regulatory clarity, basically Gary Gensler admitting he's wrong. But the newest thing, or the closest thing I should say, is the Bitcoin halving. If you've heard of that, but you're not really sure, the TLDR is the reward you get for doing the proof of work consensus mechanism where everyone has a computer and they're doing all the mining. Basically, the reward for it is getting cut in half. That's the easiest way to explain it. Bitcoin tends to rally over 30% in 8 weeks leading up to the reward halving. According to 10x Research, Bitcoin's fourth halving is due on April 19th. Bitcoin's daily RSI has crossed above 80, a threshold that has historically really front-run a 60-day gains of over 50%. While a price pullback looks plausible, the broader uptrend looks set to continue, with prices revisiting the potentially surpassing the record high of 69,000 per Bitcoin before Bitcoin's blockchain's fourth mining reward halving due on April 19th. So they're looking at 2 things. Okay, we have a fundamental development in the world of halving, and then the other one is just a classic RSI technical indicator of, hey, when we've been in this situation before, here's how it's played out with relatively high odds. Obviously, it's a conditional probability. Is it a guarantee? No, none of this is a guarantee, but people are trying to see how much in the markets, it doesn't really matter what market you're looking at. The saying is, history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. So if you see some sort of historic precedence for a certain situation, the idea is that, okay, well, we saw it before. Enough people are seeing that it happened before. So maybe in a certain sense, it'll become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Pre-halving bullishness. The theory that Bitcoin, the leading cryptocurrency by market value, bottoms out 12 to 16 months ahead of halving and chalks out uptrends ahead of and a year after the halving is well known by now. More importantly, for traders, the previous 3 cycles centered around the halving shows prices surge by over 30% in the 8 weeks leading up to the event, which reduces the pace of the supply expansion by 50%. The halving due on April 19th will have the per block reward to 3.125 from 6.25. Actually, we started off at 50 way back when, over a decade. It was 50, then it went to 25, then it went to 12.5, and we'll just keep halving and halving and halving roughly every 4 years. Bitcoin rallies an average of 32% in 60 days ahead of the halving, which is roughly where we are right now. Now, obviously, as I alluded to before, I don't have a crystal ball, but this metric, will Bitcoin go up in excess of 30% in the next 2 months, next 60 days? Definitely something I'll be paying attention to. The closer we reach the Bitcoin halving, the higher the probability that Bitcoin will rally, as the evidence from the last 3 halving cycles shows. This time will be no different, as the perception within the crypto community is high that the halving is bullish. This perception is undoubtedly flowing into the TradeFi community, which is aggressively buying these Bitcoin ETFs ahead of the halving. Once again, this is the self-fulfilling prophecy nature. The fact that everyone's looking around, they're like, well, this has happened before, and I want to buy it before that happens to make money. Well, they buy it, actually causing it to go up, hence why it's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. The other part of this is something in just the world of pure technical analysis, the relative strength index, the RSI. A week ago, Bitcoin's 14-day RSI crossed above 80 for the first time since December. 12 out of 14 such previous RSI signals that accelerated uptrend, producing an average gain of 54% in the following 60 days. So when you look at what's going on in the world of this technical indicator, the RSI, and also historically what happened with the halving, you put them both together, looks like the next 2 months on Bitcoin might be pretty freaking solid. As a reference, Bitcoin traded at 48,000 when the last signal was triggered, and if history, the average return of 54% in the next 60 days is any guide, then Bitcoin could rally to 74.6 thousand based on this signal. So many people right now, myself including, are starting to talk about the high 60s, low 70s in April of this year. Now, as I've said it a million times, and I'm going to say it a million more, is any of this a guarantee? No, there's always counterexamples, and it's a multivariate equation, an infinite multivariate equation where you never know what is or isn't going to happen, but it is interesting to see how it's played out in the past and potentially extrapolate that forward to see how things could go right now in the short to medium term. I myself, I'm buckled in, I'm excited. I think a lot of cool things are going to be going down, and I think there's going to be that return of fervor and FOMO and excitement to the world of crypto. Yes, we've already been seeing it, especially in January with the ETF approval, but I think that's going to be kind of small on a relative basis of what I think is really going to be going down in April. And fingers crossed, hopefully Bitcoin and the crypto sphere as a whole at a new all-time high.